What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another day of wrenching wrecked. Still jamming on the moped. I don't remember exactly. So I filmed pretty much 4 or 5 hours out here the other day. So wherever I got is where I left off. I think I might have done a couple more things. I don't remember if I put the pedals on, but we threw the pedals on from the box. These are going to get replaced anyway, but it's what I had here. So we got pedals on, motor is done. Intake is at the shop. It's blasted. I didn't have enough stuff to run a big batch. I will today, so we'll get the intake coated today, then we can throw that back on. Been out here since early this morning. Got the front brake, or front wheel, all set up. Fender's no longer rubbing. Didn't film it because it was just a lot of putting it on, taking it off, banging on it with hammers and all sorts of things like that. So if you're curious, what I did was, this side was okay, it was the other side. Let's go over there. The left side, it's still really close clearance-wise here. Closer than I'd like, but we might still beat on that. So what I ended up doing was taking a wrench, jamming it in between the tire and the fender bracket, like so. Wedged it up really nice, pulled on the wrench, and basically beat the crap out of the fender with the hammer. And it started bending this out a little bit. So we might still keep messing with that at a later date, but that's not going to be an on-camera thing because it's really loud, really obnoxious, and not fun. So I got the trim panels kind of on. The tank is mounted. I just put a petcock in, so we got a brand new one. It's not the right one for this bike, but it should work. Had a really long reach for the reserve. I had to bend that a little bit to get it to clear because it was hitting the inside of the tank and wouldn't lock down, but now this is on. Hooked up a fuel line. I'm just going to run it from here down this panel, and then it comes out over here, up and over, and we don't have the carb, so I don't know exactly where that's going to go, but it'll kind of run up and then into the fuel inlet there. All of this is going to get covered by this plastic cover. So I think where I stopped last time, I just started playing dress up. Started putting parts back on here. But that'll go there, and then there's a black rubber trim piece that might make the cut. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. And then we got the same grips on the Evo Sporty right now, but my buddy Jeremiah at Old Iron Parts Co. Check these out. They're pretty cool. They're all 3D printed, which is crazy to me, but this color on the frame and the wheels, like, it's going to look so much darker, I know. In the videos, whenever I edit them, it looks like the tank doesn't have any sparkle to it, but this is a really heavy flake. But it's the highest part of the bike, and these lights are really light. So when it's in direct sunlight, the sparkle actually kind of goes away. It's only when you catch it on an angle. Same thing on this fender. You get up close, it's got that rainbow flake all over it. But the camera doesn't really do that justice. So the tank is an exact match to the fenders and these trim parts. Just doesn't look like it because it's taking in all the light. Down here, this purple is real dark, but you get up into the light, you can see how much that color changes. So these grips in direct light, pretty close. I mean, completely dissimilar parts, but pretty happy with that. So where are we at now? This panel can come back off, the grips can go back over here. We're kind of onto that home stretch now, which is nice. This is my lighting circuit. So I got a headlight wire up front, taillight wire in the back. Yellow is the lead from the magneto. This is what we were waiting on, the regulator. I gotta double check. If I remember correctly, the yellow lead from the mag goes into the red, and then yellow is my output lights from the regulator. So we only have 2 wires, so we can mix and match those or flip those around if need be. I think it came with an instruction sheet too, I gotta check, but I need a spot to stash this. And then I was kind of looking around on the bike. This panel is mounted. It mounts to the gas tank through bolt. So there's a rubber bushing. Bolt goes through this panel and the tank, so that's what locks all of this in place. Then there's 2 little set screw kind of deals that go through here, like little thumb screws. I think I'm going to ditch the thumb screw and use that hole to mount the regulator and then run the wires through. If there's room, we'll find out in a minute. Then we got 1 through bolt or 2 shorty bolts that go through the back to mount this panel on completely. We got zip ties in there for now just to see what it looks like, but here's kind of what I was thinking. We got plenty of room to tuck these wires kind of down and in. if I'm able to, come on, gets tight around the fender here, like that. Bam, stealth mode. You'll catch the bottom of it here. I don't know if you guys can see that from your view, but right now, I think I'm good with that. If we wanted to get real fancy, we could do like a little carriage bolt or something, but I think that should work just fine. I got enough room here to run the wires. Again, plastic purple panel is going to cover all of this anyway. But as that sits right there, I think we're in good shape. But I'm pretty happy with that. Now I don't have to worry about trying to drill holes in the panels or anything like that. Come on, one thread, there it is. Cool. Snug that one down so I don't have to think about it, and then it's just a matter of the final wiring. That should save my light bulbs. Just like that. Stealthy. And then I just got to pull up the diagram and figure out which one is which for this. But like I said, yellow comes out. So our yellow lead, I think, is going to go to the red wire. And then the yellow is going to tie into the headlight, taillight, all on one circuit. So we'll put these two, we'll loop these two together in one female spade connector. And then a male end on one of these two. So there's that quick little update. Other than that, we got to cut the barrel off of the throttle cable, run that over, but I'll do that once the intake's done. We need an intake gasket, and then the intake gasket slash flange or spacer on the carb side. And then hook up the headlight if I need it, but we might not even get that far yet. So we're pretty much there. A couple bolts in the back, so I'll put one bolt in, through bolt over here. So this is locked in, 2 bolts here. I need a rubber grommet up here, or a big washer, however I decide to do that. Intake, fuel line's good, spark plug, and we should be ready to fire this thing up. Kill switch, I didn't do a kill switch, so I gotta run to the parts store this morning before I go to the shop, so if I can swing by an auto parts store, just grab a toggle on-off rocker switch. Don't know where we're gonna put that one yet, but I do have the black wire from the magneto, so this part right here, this connection, I gotta put a kill switch somewhere in line. We might just stash it back here or something. Not sure yet, but basically brake ignition from the mag to the coil, so that should kill the sparky sparks. So that's pretty much where I gotta stop. I gotta figure out, I'll wire the regulator up and then leave this open for the kill switch. But other than that, I think, honestly, we should be able to fire this up in the next day or two and then see what the Jeff Bezos special carburetor is gonna do. I have not touched anything on the inside of that, so we'll just fill it up with gas and see what it does. I have no idea what the jetting is. I have no idea if the jets are even stamped. It's an 18 mil VM body. That'll be a whole dilemma in and of itself, but I know we're getting spark. It's timed back where it was factory, so it might not be ideal, but we're getting spark from the factory setting. It should be relatively close. We'll see. We'll be back later on today. Just got back from the shop, and as expected, Daddy wanted to coat the intake, so we have all of the Galaxy in the intake. I thought we were just going to do a simple black or something like that, but parts are done. There is the spacer with an O-ring. I got the gaskets in the house. So I'm going to finalize that. I don't know if I'm going to film that part. And then I think we're going to try and start this thing, or at least give it 10 minutes before I get bored. We'll see what happens. But intake is done and flashy. And from a far distance, it just looks like a regular black. And then you see the sparkles. We'll be back in a bit.
howdy, y'all. Well, did you miss me? Go on and say I told you so. Yeah, now I know the straight life is a no-go. Yeah, I was wrong. I tried to get domesticated, but yesterday I finally couldn't take it, and I was gone. I probably should have told my wife, but the minute I saw the light, I just dug out my boots and threw out the fanny pack, sold the van and got my old Harley back, cranked up the bike and flew out the cul-de-sac, straight to the nearest bar. AC/DC on the jukebox, back and black. Got so drunk I was singing like a maniac, smoked so much I about had a heart attack. So it's a fact, the rascal is back. Got back, I ain't gonna lie. I dressed up in a suit and tie, pulled out the driveway 7:45. Yeah, in the morning. She started having baby fever. She made me trade my Harley for a Kia. Oh, help me, Lord. I saw my reflection in the minivan and thought, this ain't who I am. So I dug out my boots and threw out the fanny pack, sold the van and got my old Harley back, cranked up the bike and flew out the cul-de-sac, straight to the nearest bar. AC/DC on the jukebox, back and black. Got so drunk I was singing like a maniac, smoked so much I about had a heart attack. I woke up in someone's yard. The rascal is back. Crossed my mind that I'm a fool for leaving all I had. But then I think about it, dear. Boy, I sure am glad that I dug out my boots and threw out the fanny pack, sold the van and got my old Harley back, picked up the bike and flew out the cul-de-sac. AC/DC on the jukebox, back and black. Got so drunk I was singing like a maniac, smoked so much I about had a heart attack. So hang on to your hats, the rascal is back.
Holy crap, she's a runner. Had to adjust the timing, started it on the drill, but she pedal starts now. Listen to that idle. Unjetted, untuned, anything. Amazon Carb. I'm genuinely amazed by this Amazon carburetor. It's also a brand new motor. Not the best way to break it in, but it's me. And it returns right back to idle like it's supposed to. Cool. Well, I just recorded God knows how many minutes of footage on the outro for this and everything else that's been happening. Also, I have no idea when the mic cord decided to come unplugged. So, let me double check. Now we have audio. We got a runner. It takes throttle. Somehow. $13 carburetor. Maybe $18 shipped. Carb, air cleaner, fuel line, all sorts of other stuff. It worked. I had to go in and readjust the timing. I'm gonna bring the parts back from the shop, or the tools back from the shop. You got a special spark plug tool. It's basically a piston stop, but it's got a micrometer on the end of it for setting the timing. I don't know what else is gonna show up on the camera or not. The voltage regulator was not working. Hardwired the lighting coil to the rest, and we did have power to the tail light. And then I think I blew the bulbs up because my train of thought for breaking in a motor is fire it up, listen for any weird noises that first 30 seconds, then start giving it a little bit of throttle and kind of rev it out, let it idle back, rev it out, drop back. Not one of those people that's going to baby the thing and only give it quarter throttle the entire life, because that doesn't make sense to me. That's not practical. We've already redlined this to the point where it was backfiring from a lean condition on the high end of the revs. Not pinned wide open, but I stretched the revs out and pop. All right, cool. We need a little more fuel up top, is my guess. But it's a runner. Hopefully any of this showed up in the previous footage. If not, I will make another video quick tomorrow. But just wanted to update you guys on it because this is what we've been jamming on. And that first start is so great. I think Dottie's got a couple clips of it on her phone, so I might add those into this too. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully any of the footage before this was worth watching. If not, we'll see you tomorrow.